world government, nothing else makes sense. Save ghetto youth, everybody get help.
Portmore. Jamaica's Adidja Palmer, aka Vybz Kartel, aka the World Boss, made clear his position in dancehall with his May 2020 hit, Run Dancehall.
Me nah have no time for drills. Me nah love frap tail, coulda even. We a go have axel. Every female want me contact at mail. That coming now your gal where the cash pad clear.
A true student of the genre, Vybz Kartel's evolution depicts the story of a man who both sparks and adapts to the ever-changing cultural atmosphere and has been one of its most highly influential, popular, and controversial artists ever since, even from the confines of his cell.
I can say this about Vybz Kartel. Vybz Kartel is and has always been controversial, yes, outrageous, and spontaneous. You know what I mean? And one thing that one can expect from Vybz Kartel is the unexpected.
Chapter 1. The Road. The World Boss started his career as a teenager in 1993, going by the moniker Addy Banton as homage to Buju Banton, one of the preeminent figures in the Jamaican music scene at the time. His admiration of Buju was reflected in his musical content, and one of Vybz Kartel's earliest recordings of the time was The Road, a hard-hitting conscious freestyle which, while raw, was an early display of the prodigious talent possessed by Kartel.
Devilish flavor surround humanity. See it on the temple, try keep your sanity. Put all your trust in the holy divinity.
Palmer later became a member of a music group called Vybz Kartel. That's a C in Kartel instead of the K as we know today. After the group split up, he kept the moniker and stylized the name even further, resulting in the iconic spelling we have today. Addy went on to become a protege of the legendary Bounty Killer, joining his iconic Alliance. It is throughout this period that Kartel was said to have written nearly 30 songs for Bounty, including Gal Clone.
Man, I take him nasty, girl, me not do that. Run down some nasty, girl, me not do that. When them not dig up the nurse, it not do that. Kartel no forgot, but me not do that. No.
Chapter 2. New Millennium. The teacher rose to prominence in 2003 after a string of hits in Jamaica.
So me a say, what ya say, what ya say, so me a say, what me a say, what ya say, so me a say, what ya say, what ya say, and when the girl them there, I did it. Inna me call canite, no. Me inna me close fitting clocks. Me shoes no cheap like chicken parts. Check out me Valentino summer shots. Moschino button shirt with the heart. Spend the glass cast 80 Dutch marks.
The year culminated in a pre-planned on-stage musical competition known to Jamaicans as a clash with Ninja Man, another dancehall legend at the festival, Sting. Sting is a legendary yearly dancehall event with decades of history, dubbed the greatest one-night reggae and dancehall show on earth. This is held in Kartel's hometown of Portmore.
All who know so Kartel can't flap, so go on Kartel. I told him Portmore, so we start well. Let off the light. Let off the light. All of the men never know who want them their light and burn on. Yeah, keep on leaving my jungle post. No, she's coming there. Yeah. You say me I look at Jamaica, me just say.
The clash turned violent when the War Angels crew members as well as he himself threw punches and assaulted Ninja Man on stage.
Ninja kill a ninja, all the pussy them fit them.
Days after the incident, the two artists appeared before the press to announce a settlement of their differences and to end any animosity. Throughout his career, Mr. Palmer released a number of albums through the UK-based label Green Sleeves Records, such as Up to the Time, More Up to the Time,
Up to the time, your girl a my girl a mine. Me a carry the soup with the Skelly at the time. Ya carry the Michael man the with the line and the nanny with the pine. Up to the time.
And through JMT, producing iconic hits such as Picture This, Sweet to the Belly, and Gun Session.
Hey, picture me and you and me. KISS, F-U-S-S-I-N-G. Then picture me and you under the tree. F-U-C-K-I-N-G.
After splitting with Bounty Killer-led Alliance in 2006, the dancehall hero formed the Portmore Empire, a group of dancehall DJs and singers from his Portmore neighborhood that he signed to his newly founded Adidja Him/Not Nice Records. This Portmore Empire provided a platform to numerous stars such as Javinci, Black Rhino, Lisa Hyper, and yes, Popcorn, who have all gone on to achieve varying degrees of success in their musical careers.
Yo, Popcorn. Yeah. Hear me I say that.
Why free?
Hear me I say that. Them know say a Popcorn is the prefect. You see me I say. You know wherever there's a teacher, you have to have a prefect. And he is perfect. Yeah, you know what I mean? AKA Young World.
Keeping it popping, right? Response to all the young girls.
Yeah, man, I'm a thing, man. Yeah, man, you might do it, you know?
Yes, sir. Yeah, do it, do it. Pick up my daddy. Songs out the world boss, but me say world boss. Because of life, hear that?
A public feud between Kartel and former collaborator Mavado arose towards the end of the year. The feud resulted in a bag of diss tracks release in which each artist took the chance to insult the other in creative and musically innovative ways over popular dancehall rhythms.
New name Fin Farmer, Mr. Palmer. Got me for me X5, so me sing the psalms that chop with me armor. Clip longer than banana. Boy, come past the corner, gunshot ring in your ears like llama.
None of them pussy there can't call Mr. Palmer informer. Send him to the bomber. This cartel ya go get murder like your father. Real life war run rather. Me never kill a barber, but if I so rise the llama.
After a fragile peace was established in the summer of 2008, tensions flared with a renewal of diss tracks from each artist and a lyrical clash between the two at Sting 2008.
We are the last man standing. Rifle shot, move the goalie banking. Wanna your barber shop and trim. Next year, no do no more damn Sting.
This left mixed reviews as to the winner.
Everybody know your occupation. Hungry thing just squeeze and the sheer with the dream stick. I'm gonna up the thing like this. One of the baddest man in the West thing. Them shot and a miss. Them say me a right cry. Hey Jabber, the one can't talk to over the gun. I'm my own, you know that. When we have blood that's my own. This one of me friends, then I will know that. Never.
On December 8, 2009, Kartel and Mavado met with the Jamaican Prime Minister Bruce Golding in an attempt to end the feud, which by that time had fueled mob attacks and gang violence in some of Kingston's inner cities.
You know what I mean? And people take it to a different level.
Vybz Kartel concurred.
Yeah, well, yeah man, we agree with what Mavado said a while ago, and as a matter of fact, we have plans to do another collaboration, because you have to remember the first time Mavado and I did a song, it was a collaboration, you know. Those are the happiest days of my life. So it's like, no, that is what we're bringing back now. So in the beginning of our meeting, so is it in the end of the war. So we're coming back with...
Chapter 3. World Boss. The Gaza president began to see a meteoric rise in popularity in the coming years. In 2009, his song featuring Spice, Ramping Shop, debuted on the Billboard Top 100 Singles chart. His 2010 single Clarks was one of his biggest international successes, remaining in the top 3 reggae singles and gaining the most radio plays in North America for 40 weeks.
Real bad man, no muggle in a shorts. Straight jeans, cut off foot pants. Everybody have to ask when me get my clocks. Everybody have to ask when me get my clocks.
In 2011, he released his own shoe line named Addie's, as well as his own line of cake soap, a type of soap primarily used for clothes and is less commonly used for skincare to treat skincare conditions such as acne. However, Michael Cake Soap Jackson's brand was intended for the purpose of skin lightening or bleaching.
Kartel's bad boy rep pales in popular interest with tales of his skin bleaching.
Like me wash my face with the cake, so
can't avoid the subject. Big topic. They're saying, okay, Kartel's getting browner, he's bleaching. What's the truth behind that?
No, you know, me not bleach, babe. Me just wash my face with the cake soap and through in the AC in my vehicle, AC in my house, AC on the plane when I travel. The skin just smooth out and girl them love it. What am I do? What? Oh.
So that's the cake soap's fine. So everybody recommend it.
Chapter 4. Adi Innocent. Ever since his rise to fame, there have been allegations which have followed the world boss, with politicians, school principals, and other prominent Jamaicans expressing distaste for his musical content and real-life conduct.
Why is it that you and every other person who is being accused or alleged as a devil worshipper, why is it that you're not answering the question?
And I think he has a responsibility as a citizen of Jamaica to ensure that our children are led along the right path. And that's basically, seriously, I've never seen such utter rubbish. I've never ever seen such utter rubbish being said.
These accusations were not always from outside the Gaza camp. Before Kartel's incarceration, there were rumors of the Gaza president's mistreatment of its citizens, with accusations being lifted from rising Gaza star Black Rhino, who claimed to have been beaten by the teacher.
You pick me. Next morning, I'm vexed through, but tell them strictly. No one can call up on the ends for this. Going out
It was, however, his practices outside of the music industry which landed him in hot water. In 2011, the teacher was arrested for marijuana possession. Before being released, he was further charged with conspiracy, illegal possession of a firearm, and the murder of Barrington Burton, a Jamaican businessman. After Kartel placed bail in 2013, he was then charged with the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. It was on this charge he was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment, with an eligibility for parole in 35 years.
The wickedness that we're about to deserve that, if they deserve that. 35 years, them say, if they deserve it, the hard labor, wickedness that. Them no file is that, they don't know nothing about it, the police that appear right now, wickedness that. Shouldn't give him no life, they should just give him certain time and then come back out. They shouldn't give him no life.
There was something said about him not pleading or not asking for leniency. What was that all about?
Essentially what he did is he maintained his innocence. What the judge had asked for is if there were any mitigating factors that we should submit on his behalf. Our position is very simple. He is a good father, he is an entertainer and has displayed good character thus far, and those things should have been taken into account. In addition to the fact that he has a clean record. At the end of all of that, he has instructed us to indicate that he is innocent and he will be appealing the sentence.
Kartel's trial was the longest in Jamaican history. It spanned 65 days and led to nationwide protests, proclaiming the innocence of Mr. Palmer. He even changed his stage name to Adi Innocent to show his stance. He has maintained his innocence today and has launched several appeals, with the latest being set to go to the Privy Council in the near future. Despite his imprisonment, Adi Innocent has continued to be an active member of the dancehall scene. He has continued to release music from behind bars, including bangers such as Fever and 2 studio albums to date. He even seems to operate his own Instagram account.
Looking at me, I know. Now go this you, baby. Wine. I'm out.
Yeah.
Chapter 5. Up to the Time. Kartel has achieved both international and local acclaim with his culturally ubiquitous singles, including Rampin' Shop, Fever, and Summertime.
Wine for me, baby, everything crisp. My good love make you turn and crisp. Oh, here we go. Summertime is here. You know it's a holiday. School is closed. We feel the vibes, you know. Summertime in a boom boom.
Having collaborated with a number of internationally prominent hip-hop and R&B artists such as Major Lazer for Pon the Floor, Party Next Door, Not Nice, and Beyonce for Girls, he has been credited as an inspiration for the dancehall-infused work of a number of Western artists, including Drake, who bigged up the Gaza Empire as being one of his biggest inspirations.
Vybz Kartel is one of my biggest inspirations, one of my favorite artists. You want to talk about a guy, you know, coming out of somewhere coming out of a place that has their own thing, their own culture, and absolutely just taking over, becoming like the one person to idolize.
In January 2020, the World Boss released a 10-track album, To Tanisha, which was dedicated to his common-law wife and mother of his 3 children, who are artists themselves, Tanisha Johnson. They co-produced the album with their respective record labels, Short Boss Music and Vybz Kartel Music.
You too lie, me too jealous. Me so cross, you're so fed up. A long time you want to cut. Me can't stay, me can't leave. I remember when we fell apart. You couldn't take the pressure from your heart. Love never grew very far, 'cause I was always busy when you go.
On June 26, 2020, Kartel released his 15th studio album, Of Dons and Divas.
Bad girl, big bumper, pretty cute face, I fuck that. Ride it, bubble up, no.
Conclusion. Vybz Kartel is certainly, if not one of, the most polarizing and enigmatic figures in Caribbean culture. He is hailed as both hero and villain throughout the culture, but still widely acknowledged as one of the most talented artists to have graced its scenes. Drop how you feel about Kartel in the comments and be sure to let us know on Twitter and Instagram. Now, if you're still here with us at this point of the video, how many different nicknames did we use to refer to Vybz Kartel? Leave your answer in the comments and DM us on either Instagram or Twitter with a screenshot for a chance to win $1,000 Jamaican phone credit, Digicel or Lime.
Me bring my chain, my shoes covered. Pop champagne like me goes. Girl I jump in through the window. Every bill I get veto. Them more than I know the girl, them we know.